Okay, so you guys just got out of the Forest of Dreams and you're at camp and you found out that Arcana can upgrade your weapons. Well, before you all get too terribly excited about that, everyone receives a mysterious orb. Arcana gives you a mysterious orb and gives you 250 gold each.
Jeez.
Where'd this come from?
He said he was going to pay you for the stone. He's paying you while at camp.
The question still remains.
Yeah, where'd he get
Where'd this
it?
come from?
He had it in his saddlebags.
Apparently he's loaded.
Well, he was carrying the amount to pay you guys with him. You just didn't know about it because you didn't ask.
I don't think that's very smart, but I mean, whatever.
I mean, sure. Anyways, so it's nighttime, and you guys all take a rest, and you guys start heading your way back to the city. Anything you guys want to do on your way there? It's kind of a long trip. Are you guys still trying to fly there, fly Arcana there and stuff?
We may
It's a
as
lot
well.
faster.
Okay. So you fly back to the city, and you get into the city. All right, this time around, guys, I actually have a map of said city. All right, give me one
You
moment.
could, since you can only have so many images, you could just open a bunch of rooms and just draw them, like I did previously.
So this is the map that we're going to use as our city of Villagetown.
All right.
Up in the north is of course, the castle. You kind of got a bunch of little shops here. It was off in the field, like off to the west where the tournaments were being held. The tavern's kind of like in that cluster by that section of the... It's kind of like... I don't know if I can visually do it here. Let's find out.
My whole internet tab just crashed. That's odd.
Ooh. Oh, wait. Oh, there you go, Misty. You're back. I guess I'll do this. You really are a weird... Apparently, it's not allowing me to do the draw tool to show you stuff. Well, anyways, the tavern is about here.
I can.
Weird that
I can hardly see your color.
I know, it's
What
weird.
tool are you using?
The draw tool.
Is it free?
Okay, it's kind of like around this area. You see it? Yeah. Around there. That's where the tavern was.
Somewhere within a 3-mile radius of the city.
Yeah. You guys are currently located to the south, coming in through the gate. That gate is approximately... come on, draw tools. Work for me. You're kind of like over here. You're walking into the city. All right, that's where we're going to start. You walk into a city, there's a bunch of ponies and creatures.
Surprising.
It's daytime. Every pony is going back and forth or whatever. Arcana turns to you and says, I have some things that I need to take care of.
Of course.
So, I will require you to meet me back here at this spot in 3 days' time.
3 days, jeez.
Feel free to explore the city of Villagetown while you're here. Maybe... Oh, don't forget, you still have a captured guard. Don't forget, you still have a captured guard. Arcana says, you might want to take this one to the guardhouse. One of you might want to do that.
Don't we
Meanwhile-
also have a tournament we're supposed to be competing in?
There's no need now that we have the stone.
But we've been summoned for it.
All of us came here for this tournament, for our hometowns and other various assortment of reasons.
Yes, we
We
were
should just
sent
drop
here by
everything we're doing
by
and
our
stop.
elders.
A,
And we can't abandon that based on just the whim of some weirdo we just met.
Good point. In that case, instead, a guard comes running up the street and says, Arcana, bad news. They've decided to cancel the tournament without the stone as the grand prize. They don't want to host the tournament anymore. And there's danger. Off to
Oh no!
off to
Whatever
the-
will we do?
off to the east, way by the mountain of heaven.
Oh no! Whatever will we do?
Whatever will you do? Arcana turns
I
to
don't
you
know.
and says, we must find the other stones, but their locations are lost. We need to know where they are.
Well, apparently they're not trackable, so I don't know what we're supposed to do. Shouldn't Arcana be the one who knows everything?
Arcana asks you, can one of you visit the library near the castle to investigate any myths or legends?
One of us goes to the guardhouse, one of us goes to the library.
I would actually recommend we hang on to the guard ourselves. Then together go to the library.
All right.
Would you... if you want to hang on to the guard...
No,
Okay,
no,
the...
together take him to the guardhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
Not-
free.
not-
You're
Not just
free.
one of us.
Okay.
I
Arcana
forgot
says-
we have. I was thinking, although people aren't here, I was thinking they were still in our party, but I guess technically they're not really in our party if they're not here.
Kobold is still with you. He decides to go with you guys. So you guys gonna take the guard to this? Okay, actually, correction. I have a name for him now, but you'll find out the name here in a moment when you. He's still asleep, by the way. So, you're practically carrying this unconscious person or this unconscious pony.
Saul Horseman.
Yeah. So you heed Arcana's words and you head to the guardhouse. Is that what you choose to do?
Well, actually, I would tell the guard who's run up. It's like we have one of the people who stole the item here.
The guard
you
looks at the pony and says, "He looks familiar. Come this way. I'll lead you to the guardhouse. We'll get to the bottom of this."
All right.
So you travel a little ways through the city. You're up towards the castle now. Oh, just south of the castle is the guard's house. You get there. The guard that led you there said, "Wait here a moment," and he goes into the guardhouse. Meanwhile, all of a sudden the sleep spell breaks, and this pony wakes up.
Hurry, hit him again.
Arcana's
Someone get the NyQuil.
We did tied him up.
That's right. He's now conscious. He is tied up, but he is conscious.
Right?
The first thing's
Is it
out
like
of his
having a panic
mouth.
attack?
The first thing's out of his mouth is, "Where am I?"
Villager Town?
Go back to sleep.
Roll persuasion.
Okay.
Nimbus, just Nimbus.
Okay. You gotta sing him a lullaby.
11. Because he's been asleep now for almost an entire day, and he's had plenty of sleep, he's not convinced that he needs to go back to sleep. He asks you again where he is.
It doesn't matter where you are. You're not in the position to be asking the questions.
Everyone roll perception.
8. Woo. Well, I have the feeling these people are like hypnotized or something, and this guy's probably from here. I got from the last session.
Nimbus slightly hears. Only Nimbus hears it, but just slightly. You're captured. The pony you captured says, "Where's my father, the Lord of give me a sec. Of Fort Mare or Port Merehart? Why am I not in Port Merehart?"
You can discuss that with the guard here. I'm sure they have plenty of questions for you.
The guard comes back. And he decides to let you bring in the captured pony into the guardhouse. They bring you into what looks like a nice room, and the head guard is there. Darn it, I gotta come up with a name real quick.
Bob
Headguard.
The head guard his name is Shining Hoof, and he introduces himself. "I am Shining Hoof.
Hello.
I hear that you have captured one of the ponies that stole the stone from the tournament."
Yep.
Correct.
This is the only one that survived. The other ones, their heads kind of came off.
Just a little bit.
My notebook keeps getting in the way of my die rolls. There we go. The head guard takes one look at the pony you captured and says, "Yellow Rock? You're the one that stole the stone? I knew your father from my time serving the castle in Port Merehart. Apparently this guy you guys captured is the son of a lord."
Mm-hmm.
This does not change the fact that he stole the
That doesn't mean anything.
and attempted to hurt us.
So, I'm assuming you guys remember that when you captured him, a black little wisp of smoke came out of his forehead. Just remember that. Your captured pony, named Yellow Rock, says, "The last thing I remember was I was traveling to Villagetown to participate in the tournament. Then, all of a sudden, my comrades and I were attacked by a mysterious black thing."
Starting to sound like Shadow the Hedgehog now. What are these mysterious black creatures?
That's all I remember.
mean, is there? I don't think there's anything we can really do right now. It's kind of up to them.
The guards look at you and say, "Do you know anything of this black creature?"
I mentioned the black mist that dispelled itself from the bodies of our victims.
The guard looks at you and says, "I have no knowledge of such magic. Though, feel free to use the library in the castle to find out if there's any knowledge there."
Wouldn't this be the realm of the whoever dispenses justice? We just caught the guy.
"We will keep him here in the guardhouse. We have a jail cell downstairs where we keep criminals. This is an old friend of mine, and I want to make sure that he's okay and make sure that there was something else going on. But this black creature worries me. If you adventurers could look into it, that would be greatly appreciated."
I mean, I guess we don't really have a choice. We kind of have to leave him there.
So
That's what I was expecting. We turn him over to the guard. They
Yep.
handle whatever.
Yeah, but he seems a little too infatuated with him, though. If he actually is a bad guy, and we're completely wrong, then he could just let him loose.
Well, that's not on. We've turned him over to the guard. There's not much else we can do.
there's nothing else you can do. The guard is taking over, and
Well, that's what I was saying. I
Yeah.
don't think there's really anything we could do.
hello.
Hello.
Okay, so Cobalt, just to catch you up real quick, they just turned over the captured pony. Apparently, the captured pony you guys captured is the son of a lord, but they're going to keep him at the guardhouse in the city of Villagetown for now. And you guys are about to head over to the library
Okay.
to do some research. As you guys walk out of the guardhouse, a pony that you recognize from the tavern. It's Sir Trothhoof in his shining armor.
Ooh.
Apparently he's on his way to the guardhouse to have a conversation with the head guard. He takes one look at Cobalt and asks Cobalt, "Do I know you? You look familiar." Cobalt, would you like to respond?
I have no idea who you are.
He's
He-
from. We saw him at the bar at the very beginning.
Yeah, but I don't know him personally.
Correct. He
You
was
were-
talking with Arcana at the corner. He was the one with all the armor.
Yeah. No, he was talking to Loose Talk, who is, as you guys heard,
Oh, right.
the one that is connected to the king.
I just remember he was talking to someone that looked disheveled, and
Yeah.
the only character I ever recalled that looked disheveled was Arcana.
Well, no, the one that was looking like a traveler was supposedly what you heard as the liaison to the king.
Yeah. Oh, I just remember there was someone who looked like that, and then
Yeah.
Arcana took off a robe, and so I just associated that outfit with
Oh,
his robe.
it's fine. Sir Trothhoof is not convinced, and he says to Cobalt, "You remind me too much of that child from long ago."
Creepy.
But, unfortunately, I have no time for peasants. And he pushes past you into the guardhouse.
Rude.
What an unkind lad.
So you guys make your way to the library. You tell the guard at the front of the castle Well, you approach the castle. There's a guard there. The guard says, "What business do you have here?"
We are here. Wait, we're going to the guardhouse or library first?
Library.
Correct. You just said okay. The words got mixed up in my head. I apologize.
No,
We
good.
are entering the library to look for information on a mysterious spell. I don't believe we're authorized to tell you about from the guards.
I will need a letter from the head guard to allow you into the castle. Sorry, I misspoke. You will need a letter from the liaison to the king in order to enter the castle. You must get a letter of recommendation.
All right.
Yeah, and we can go do that.
Or maybe we don't really need to do this thing anymore.
Side quests.
Side quest.
I mean, there's apparently no more tournament. We don't have anything else to do. We got to get the Infinity Stones.
Sorry about that.
That is the main quest. But apparently you can't go any farther until... Cobalt, just so you know, everyone received 250 gold.
Alright.
And a mysterious orb.
Oh yeah, how much does Mysterious Orb weigh? I forgot to add that.
It weighs 0.2 pounds. It's not heavy. It's not heavy.
Alright.
Well, out of coincidence, it just so happens that as you turn away to head maybe somewhere to find the liaison shows up.
What an coincidence.
What do you,
We inform him of our current situation and ask if there's any way we can get the letter we are required to have to get into the library.
Everyone roll persuasion?
Persuasion. Oh boy. Not very charismatic, but I still got a 10. 8.
He says,
12.
well,
Hey, we were only sent here by that Arcana guy.
That's a good name.
Perhaps.
Loose Talk says, "Oh, Arcana sent you. I haven't talked to Arcana in easily 100 moons. It's been a while. I hope he's doing well. Please follow me to the library."
Okay.
He takes you in through the back entrance so you don't have to deal with the main gate. You walk into the castle. It's a maze. You have no idea the layout of this thing. It's all confusing or whatever. But you manage to get inside the castle. And he leads you to this library. Give me a moment, and I will make a map. That is a terrible, terrible start. Okay, let's try this. No, did not want that. Alright, so you walk into the library, and it's got several rows of books, kind of like this. Each one of these lines is a row of books.
Alright.
And there's no librarian, because it's inside the castle. And Loose Talk says, "Unfortunately, I will have to leave you here. I will have to lock you into the library for a couple hours because we can't allow you to walk the grounds of the castle. Don't worry, just knock on the door when you're ready to leave and the guard will let you out."
Okay. I mean, if it's the same guard, I'm sure he'd kind of question how we got in there.
So what's
But
the difference between this and being held prisoner?
You'll just have to trust the Royal Guard to do what they're supposed to do. There was a guard at the door, and he was told by the liaison to let you out after, when you're done, and to lead you off to campus.
How's this room lit? Are there windows?
Yes, there's windows. There's this big glass, beautiful window on the north side of the library. It's gorgeous. It's got paintings of different alicorns from different times and different ages. It's
like right
obviously
there?
old. Yeah, it's the full length of the thing. It's stained glass. It's the most beautiful artistry you have ever seen.
Stained glass or stained?
I don't know. I've looked in a mirror before.
It's stained glass. It's gorgeous. It's got 3 or 4 alicorns on it. Supposedly each from a different age. So there's a total of 4 alicorns on it.
Aren't we in the 4th age, or is this the 5th age?
5th age. This is the 5th age.
All right. I knew it was one of the 2 F numbers.
So the room is old.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost like these pane glass windows were made in each age. So this is an old library.
Mm-hmm.
All right, congrats. Now you guys get to talk amongst yourselves to figure out how you're going to find the one book.
Found it.
You sure?
No.
So, give me a sec. I got to figure out what we're going to be rolling for this.
This is a private library, so it's in whatever order they wanted to put the books in.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone roll investigation.
Ooh. Fancy. I got a 20 and a 6, but we have to use the 6, so rip. Wow. Not very unorganized.
You spend an hour and a half to 2 hours going through books, and you're not making much progress. You don't exactly know how this library is structured. And, yeah. So, everyone roll perception now.
Yay.
Mystic, you notice that through all the searching that you've done in this library and have failed to find a single book, you notice that off in the corner, one of the bookshelves on the wall on the east side of the library doesn't look quite right. What do you do?
Hey guys, this doesn't look quite right. I think I will poke it.
Do you poke it?
I poke it.
Nothing
happens. Do I have
happens.
to roll to poke it?
Nope, you don't have to roll to poke it.
Do I unpoke it? Can I pull it?
You pull on various sections of the bookshelf and you poke it several times and nothing seems to happen, but there's something not quite right with that bookshelf.
Do you guys think I should buck it and see what happens?
No, you should not buck the bookshelf.
I don't know.
Give me a
It's
moment.
awfully suspicious.
Kicking things in a very old, expensive room in a very old, expensive castle with very strong, well-armed guards. This does not seem to be a good idea.
If you insist.
Mystic, Fruit Punch, roll insight. Just
Insight?
you. Yeah.
19.
Okay. You notice that one book is titled Entry to the Forbidden Lands.
by title alone, I wouldn't think that would be very relevant, but I suppose I check it out.
Okay. How do you check it out?
I read it.
Well, it doesn't come off the shelf for some reason.
Then I repeat my prior process of poking and unpoking.
When you poke it, it goes in slightly. You hear this mechanical click.
I didn't do it.
I did.
The bookshelf kind of shudders a little bit, and then it opens up. There's a secret passage.
That's odd for a bookshelf standing right in the middle of the row.
No, I said it was on the wall.
Oh, okay. I thought it was not the green square.
Oh, no, the green
No,
it should be on the wall over here.
They're like this, as far as I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can say the same about the middle ones.
No, the middle ones are just other bookshelves.
Yeah.
The lines are bookshelves, the circles are tables. Yeah, that's more or less correct. So, do you decide to enter the secret passage?
I decided to ask the party if they wish to join me.
Well, the guards told us to stay here.
Okay. Then we could just stand here and not do anything, or we could go in the secret mysterious passage and be cool and sneaky like ninjas. Also, we should probably figure out how to close it first, because if we leave and aren't able to close it in time and they see it was opened, that could be trouble in the future. Am I able to find a way to close the door?
No, for some reason it won't close. But you do notice a lever on the other side.
So one way.
Well, the lever's probably to open it up once it closes back.
It looks like a lever that can go up and down, and right now it's down.
Okay, that makes sense.
Tell you what, you move it up. We'll wait here and push the book.
Okay. I can get behind that. I hit the lever.
The bookshelf closes behind you.
By the way, if there's a deadly trap in there, let us know with a high-pitched girly scream.
All right, deal.
The moment the bookshelf closes, Mystic Fruit Punch is in complete darkness, and then all of a sudden, as if by magic, a bunch of torches light up.
Oh, fancy. I hit the lever again.
The bookshelf opens again.
It appears safe thus far.
Did you die?
I think I'm still alive.
Are you sure?
On the outside, yes. On the inside, questionably.
Can you prove you're not a ghost?
You're looking right at him at the
Feels
moment.
spooky enough. Well, no. I made a ghost noise and it didn't scare him, so clearly I'm not a ghost.
Can you prove that you're not a doppelganger of the person who looked exactly the same?
That I cannot do. We did not establish a code word previously.
So you might be a doppelganger.
That is very true. Yes, I could be a doppelganger, as far as you're aware. I have no means to prove against that because we hardly know each other. I mean, I guess I could say something about Arcana, but I feel like everyone, even the bad guys, knows who he is. So that isn't a very good code word.
True enough.
There was no one else in the passage. The passage is empty and it looks ancient. It looks like no pony had set foot in this passage for at least an entire age. It looks completely unused. In fact, a lot of the architecture, everyone roll history.
And the hinges on that doorway are in remarkably good shape for not having been opened forever.
Yeah.
I don't know much about history.
Cobalt says this looks to be something from the Third Age.
Third, huh?
Okay.
Yeah. Cobalt recognizes that it's from the Third Age. Or close to it.
That establishes that this is a really old castle.
I mean...
Correct. I mean, we have artwork from the first age, apparently.
Yep.
Also means that the books are also very, very old. How old are these books?
Unless they
The
were renewed.
library seems to be like almost completely new books. They all look brand new and all, some are stories, adventure novels, others are factual information, some are about, the common folk.
So then let's look for the restricted section.
Well, for this passage to have not been discovered, the book that was on here had to have been surrounded by other old books.
Yes!
Or at least uninteresting books.
Very
how old-
uninteresting books.
So how old
I'm
is
sure-
each age?
I'm sure the royalty at least knows.
So it's been 100 years since the Fourth Age.
Okay. And how long did the Fourth Age last?
I did not have that information. It lasted for about 1,000 years.
So that makes these books about 1,100 years old.
The books aren't all 1,100 years old. Only the book that you pulled that looked brand new, but apparently it wasn't. So do you walk down the path?
Someone to have stocked that shelf, they would have had to know about the passage. Therefore, if nobody knows about this passage for at least till the Third Age, then no one has to have touched any of the books on that shelf for 1,100 years.
Yeah.
Correct, but I quite believe, at least anyone would have known. Like, I'm sure someone knows. There's got to be a royalty, or you said there's not a librarian, but there's no way this is completely unknown to anyone besides us.
Well, it may be known, but no one's been here.
No one has entered the passage that you can tell in a really long time. As far as
Correct.
you can tell. You don't know if the passage is completely unused.
Don't see why it matters. We don't really have anything else to do. We can't find the book. It might be in this direction.
You might as well.
If everything's new, I would assume the restricted section would be back here, which is where we would find the book we're looking for. And if anything else is there, then I mean,
So
we don't have anything else to do besides wait for 3 days.
with
I
the go
still
ahead.
think the guards are not going to take kindly to us just wandering around the castle, because they said that we're not allowed to wander around the castle.
In the distance, everyone roll perception again. Let's see if
3.
any of you.
I'm still in the hallway.
Cobalt notices very clearly that at the end of the passage, not more than 15 feet, is a door.
Oh, look, a door.
Oh, whoa, I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice because I haven't really looked down the passage. I'm still in the library.
Mhm.
If you haven't noticed, I'm not really much of a fan of breaking rules.
Then I suppose I will leave the door open, the passageway open, and check through the door.
You open the door.
If it doesn't make noise,
The door doesn't make any noise.
then I check through the door.
You walk through the door. There's one book on a pedestal.
What a coincidence! I
The
wonder if
book-
that is the book that I need.
The book says The Secrets to Crafting to the Key to Infinite Knowledge.
I quite would enjoy having infinite knowledge. I ask a party member to watch me while I try to retrieve the book in case things were to go wrong.
Does anyone decide to watch Fruit Punch's back while he
I
grabs
will
the-
watch you fucking back.
Thank you.
All right, Cobalt watches your back. So do you pick up the book?
I suppose I have to.
You pick up the book. Nothing
Nice.
happens at first. You
Do
now
I have a
have
bag of sand to replace? Swap it out.
Nothing happens just yet. The book, you look closer at the book, and it says that it tells you how the book kind of isn't magical in itself. Doesn't really do anything. It just has that title. It's the How to Create a Key to Infinite Knowledge.
I place it back on the pedestal and see what happens.
Nothing happens. There's no clicks, no nothing. It doesn't seem to be a trap.
I take it back again, and then place it again, and then take it back again, just to triple check.
Nothing happens.
I fly out of the room quickly.
You run into a magical barrier as you try to leave.
All right. I place the book back and try to leave.
You're able to depart.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, we're right here.
I require assistance.
Do you not know how to read?
I suppose I could read.
What do you need assistance with?
Whenever I take the book, a force field appears around, and I am unable to leave with the book, which means we are only able to read the book in this location.
Alrighty.
So should I read the book then?
If you want. If you want to be
Alright.
the one to read the book.
I guess I will read the book.
You open up the book. It's in a language you can't decipher. It's old.
Am I unable to decipher every page?
Roll for... Let me get the right roll here. Roll history. Just you.
Eh.
You roll a 12. You can't read any of the initial words on the page, but you notice that there's notes that looks something like something you might have seen before. It's in a more modern language.
Am I able to diagnose the language?
It's the language of the monks of the Mountains of Heaven. That's all you know.
Do either of you speak the language of the monks of the Mountain of Heaven?
That's where I come from.
How about we swap places then?
I suppose.
Okay. Nimbus Shower is immediately able to decipher this text in the written. But you notice that it wasn't written by any monk, but it was written in a language that was passed down among your people. Someone had to have had knowledge of your language in order to write those notes. The notes tell you that there are only 3 ponies in existence that can decipher the book. But the book is unable to be departed from the room.
So we need to tell Arcana in the future. I'm assuming.
Correct.
So this says there were only 3 ponies in existence. And that was when these notes were written.
They weren't written too awfully long ago.
I don't believe we have the age of Arcana, do we?
No, you do not.
All we know is that he is not young. It's possible. I mean, there's no reason we can't just leave and then...
When you saw Arcana, he looked young, but you don't know his actual age.
All right.
There's a Cobalt, roll perception.
Alrighty.
You notice off to the side of the room, there's a pen and a whole lot of paper that seems blank. It looks like it's been unaffected by age. It's still very good paper.
Hmm.
Well, all this is remarkable in remarkably good condition considering its apparent age.
Yep. Congrats. You guys found a lot of stack of papers. And a pen. And some ink.
Am I able to check real quick and make sure no one's like following or listening to us?
No one can hear you. It seems like this is a really old section of the thing, and the guards outside were probably not paying attention to what you were doing in the library. No one knows you're there.
I don't think he knows we're in there yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
All right.
Hmm.
So what do you guys want to do?
Is there any other exits from this room? Or just the one?
Just the one.
Is this door the only door behind the bookshelf?
Yes.
The only one we found.
No, the room you're currently in with this book that can't leave the room is basically... I gotta draw another...
Well, he was wondering if there's any other secret passages.
Yeah,
Nope.
we could push every stone until something happens.
No, it is clear that there is no other passage. I did not want that. It's not what I wanted. I want...
If you click select tool, you can click it and delete it.
It's a circle room. And the book is here. The door's here. And the stack of papers is on a desk right here. There's a whole lot of stack of papers there. They're all blank.
This might be a weird question, but may I look at the floor? Is there any, like, weird design things on the floor or on the ceiling?
No, it's all stone. That's all you notice. You know what? I'm just going to have to intervene at this point.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what else there is. I don't know what the paper's
You
for.
can you can copy the book onto the paper is what I'm trying to get at.
I suppose we can do that if we got
Yeah,
a few years.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You guys were just taking a while, I think, to figure that one out. I'm hinting that you can write what you've read in the book on paper. So you can transcribe this language that you can't read.
Well,
And
I'm
then-
just afraid to touch the paper if it seems too new, because I would assume someone has been here recently and would notice if the paper's gone.
Also, do you know how difficult it is to transcribe something that's in the language you can't understand?
I mean, yes, I understand that that's difficult, but it's obvious that you can still copy it.
Yeah, does anyone have like a photocopy machine?
A what?
I don't know. I suppose we try to transcribe the book into the paper.
Which one of you is going to pick up the pen first?
I can do so.
You pick up the pen. The pen is magical.
Woo.
So apparently it can write itself. You just have to be able to know what what you're trying to write.
Well, if I'm in the mindset of trying to draw the symbols instead of language, theoretically, that could work the way we want it to.
As you think about transcribing the book, the pen starts writing on its own, mysteriously. And it manages to transcribe the whole book. You didn't have to do anything. The whole book is now transcribed.
I hope another magic pen somewhere else didn't also transcribe the book.
The whole book?
The whole book.
Whole book.
That was fast.
An entire book.
Normally it takes years to transcribe a book.
Correct.
The book wasn't
Well-
that long. It was only like a few pages. It was like 5 or 6 pages.
Oh.
It was a recipe. It said this is the key to locating the place of infinite power. It's more of a scroll than a book.
Normally,
It's more of
keys
a
to locate
pamphlet.
places of infinite power are a lot more complex than a couple of pages, but I suppose I can go with it.
All right.
I was
So, who wants?
More-
Do we all want to carry pieces of it? Do one person should have all of it? What are we gonna do?
Well, it's only a few pages. Do it again. Make a CG copy.
There you go. Also, we don't know if this paper can leave the room or not. Maybe that's also enchanted.
Maybe you should give it a. Maybe one of you should give it a try.
I give it a try.
You managed to leave the room.
All
I'm
right,
just
it
concerned
works.
about one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
All these torches taking up all the air in here. Eventually, the air is going to run out because there's no windows in here.
We'll be fine.
There's cracks in the stone to allow air in.
Well, we haven't been here very long.
No, you've been there at least maybe an hour.
In the passageway?
No, in the room that you were transcribing. You were in the room for an hour.
Oh, geez, yeah, maybe there is low air.
The air's fine. There's nothing wrong with the air.
All right, if you insist.
All right, so you
I
leave.
take a deep breath to check the air.
You can breathe just fine.
Perfect.
All right. Do you guys decide to leave this supposed mystical room?
Do we all have a copy of the booklet?
No, you only got one copy
Why can we not make more?
because the pen broke when you finished. That's why.
Oh, ooh, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, that's not very convenient. Am I able to see if I have another pen to replace it that looks similar?
No, you don't have anything on you.
Darn. Oh well, I suppose we should probably get out of here and close the door before someone comes into the library.
All right, so you leave the room, you close up the secret passage. You're back in the library.
Woo.
Woo! All right, do you knock on the door to let the guard know that you're leaving?
Well, we checked about every book and didn't find anything we wanted, right? We only found this thing we can't understand.
You found this thing that tells you how to find the place of infinite knowledge, which I will say right now as
I suppose that
for player knowledge, the place of infinite knowledge is where Arcana learned everything.
I would assume this one random piece of knowledge is included in infinite knowledge, so I don't know why I'll overlook that. I was like, well, this has infinite knowledge. It doesn't say what we want. Well, infinite knowledge includes what we want.
Exactly.
Well, if this place is where Drata learned everything, then maybe we should just ask Drata, because he knows everything.
He doesn't know
Correct.
everything. He just knows where to find a bunch of knowledge. Not that he can remember it all.
The magical land of Google.
Supposedly, this book leads to another library.
I guess we're ready to leave. Group consensus.
Sure.
Yeah.
Should we tell him that we broke the pen?
If you really want to tell the guard that you broke the pen, you can.
I have a feeling this guard won't know what we're talking about.
Well, it's just I feel bad about that.
You could leave a couple gold next to the pen.
You guys are already out of the passageway and the door is closed behind you.
Well, we can open the doors again.
Would you like to try to open the door again?
Sure. I'd like to see if I can go leave 5 silver next to the pen.
The door doesn't open.
Well. How inconvenient. Maybe if I bucket.
Don't fuck things in this old, decrepit library.
But you underestimate the
You've
power
already
of my
broken
legs.
enough. Did you like decide you wanted to buck the pen or something?
No, the pen broke after it was finished transcribing the whole book.
I wanted to leave them some bits to make up for the loss of their magic pen, even though the owner probably is no longer alive.
Well, it's probably the king, because kings tend to own everything within their castle.
That's a good point. The owner is
Well-
probably the king.
I mean, technically they could claim they owned us, but
Okay, then I will leave 5 silver on top of the book that's supposed to open the door.
Okay, subtract 5 silver from your...
I am now at 3 silver.
What? You just got 250 gold from Arcana not too long ago.
I know. I have 276 gold, 3 silver, 6 copper.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Alright, so you guys knock on the door to notify the guard?
I guess.
Alright, the guard opens the door and says, please follow me to the exit. He leads you out of the castle. Congrats! It's just after noon.
He had no questions?
He has no questions whatsoever. Apparently he
Fine.
heard nothing that went on in the library.
I guess that's fine then.
I have so much faith in the people guarding our sovereign.
So you guys leave the castle. You're now in front of the castle. What do?
Then again, I wasn't very impressed, considering the way that they guarded that stone originally.
That's a fair point. I'd already forgotten about that.
It's like, oh look, a distraction. Let's leave this valuable object unattended.
What valuable object?
Alright. So what do? You guys can go ahead and check out all the shops in the city. You can pretty much do anything at this point.
Also, those guards are not very impressive, considering that we brought in a guy who we said stole the stone, but they didn't ask us if we found the stone.
Fair enough.
Apparently they didn't know that. Some of them didn't even know that you went on that quest. The guards in the castle don't know anything yet because you literally just went across the street from the guardhouse, so information hadn't been passed on yet.
Yeah, I mean, we did go very quickly. Like, if people steal the stone and we say we caught one of them, I mean, how do they know they didn't just get away if we didn't mention it? If we had the stone, we would have shown them, I'm sure.
Is there anything you guys want to do in the city?
Is there like a bank I can store some stuff in? I don't really need to carry around almost 300 gold on me.
So because this is your first time in the city, you guys have no idea where anything is at the moment. So you're gonna have to find where things are. Do you want to look for a bank? Fruit punch?
It might be easier if I look for like a coffee shop to get like an atlas.
There is another way.
We could
do
also
have
ask people.
wings. We could go up and look from above.
There's a guard standing behind you. He might know where things are.
That's too easy. All right. I don't really need to go to a bank. I don't know. Is there anything you guys need to do? I'm pretty good on equipment.
My needs are little.
Okay. If you guys choose to do nothing, a page comes up to you. And that page says, I need to lead you 3 to a special location that Arcana set up for you to spend the night.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't have to pay for a hotel, all right.
Well, they're all booked in this town because
Because of the supposed tournament that's now not going to happen, but...
that
Well,
all
I thought
depends
we
on
also
whether
had
they've
one
actually
booked
made a
now.
public announcement that the tournament is canceled.
They haven't yet. But you found out from the guards that they had canceled the tournament. It hasn't been made public yet.
If it was
Yeah,
public, I'm sure a lot of these people would leave.
Yeah.
Either leave or riot.
They're more worried about a riot.
Because they came here to this tournament to gain infinite power. And if all of a sudden it's like, oops, We lost the stone. Yeah, we're not giving away infinite power anymore. You can go home. Yeah, have a nice day. That they might be suspicious.
So, do you follow the page?
I
Sure.
suppose.
Yeah.
He leads you through the city. It's a big, confusing stretch of time. He leads you kind of to the east side of the city and then leads you out of the city to a giant mansion.
Okay.
Ooh.
Fancy.
It's a big mansion. And there's like different things there. There's crops, there's different types of food and everything. There's, carriages and everything with ponies that drive them. There's no guards, though.
That's surprising. I lied.
You start to approach the house. A butler comes up to you and says, "My master awaits you in the library on the 15th floor."
15th floor.
15th
Good thing we can
floor.
fly.
How do you get something 15 floors tall?
The mansion isn't 15 floors tall, though. You do notice that. But the butler just told you that it's on the 15th floor.
I'm looking at him suspiciously. Like you really shouldn't drink when you're on duty.
The butler says, "I have taken total offense to that." "Oh, he must not have told you. When we refer to the 15th floor, we meant the basement. There's 15 floors below the mansion."
Oh, so it's over a mine?
He leads you into the mansion.
By the way, it's Arcana. He never tells anyone the whole story, right?
Exactly. He never does. That's the mysterious part about him. He doesn't tell everyone everything. That's the point behind his character. Anyways, the butler leads you into the mansion. This is a glorious mansion. It's got a chandelier. It's obvious that Arcana seems to be extremely wealthy. At least that's what you're thinking.
Oh yeah, if you give us all 250.
So you approach the butler leads you into this elevator. Kind of in a side room. It's a nice looking elevator. You get in the elevator and the butler takes you down 15 floors.
What's the elevator?
The elevator seems to run on magic.
All I see is a very tiny room. It's like, how are we supposed to get any? Where's the stairs?
The butler looks at you and says, "Oh, we don't use stairs to go between the floors and the basement. There's too many floors to do that. We only have stairs for the regular part of the mansion."
Okay.
Is he calling us a regular? Wow.
So what about just like a vertical shaft for those of us who are vertically enabled?
It's just an elevator, and you get to the 15th floor. There's a passageway.
Yeah, I don't think he knows what an elevator is.
Oh, the butler says, "Oh, the elevator is a means of transportation between different levels of the house. So each level is considered a floor. There are various rooms and everything, and this is a means to go between them all."
Yeah, where I come from, we call those stairs.
Yeah, this just looks like a prisoner room, like a closet.
Don't worry. Don't you feel us moving downwards?
I don't know. How does this
before I
work?
got into the tiny room.
Then you hear before you can finish asking him all your questions and before you can finish responding, you hear a ding and the door opens. And you're looking at a long hallway with several doors on it. With one door at the back that's open. You see Arcana in the distance.
A lot of long hallways today. Oh wait, we know him.
The butler lets you out of the elevator and says, "This is where we depart, dear sirs and madams." And he enters the elevator and the door closes behind you.
Oh, we're trapped.
I like that music.
No, you're on the bottom floor and you're able to walk towards Arcana. That's where you're at.
Oh, we have no idea if this is the bottom, but
No, you don't. It might
We have
be.
to take his word.
Well, the butler told you that it was the 15th floor. You don't know whether it's the bottom or not. I just keep saying bottom, but you're on the 15th floor. So you walk to the room. Arcana's looking at you and
how's
says,
the hallway lit?
and you see the hallway is beautifully lit. It's got all these really expensive like lanterns along it and everything. There's several doors leading off to other rooms that look really, really nice and everything. A lot of it looks like storage. Some of it has some books, some tomes and everything.
I say we get the papers to Arcana.
So you hand Arcana the papers. And he says, "This will take me some..." He looks at you and looks at the papers and says, "Did you enter the passage in the library?"
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
He sighs and puts his hoof to his horn.
Were we not supposed to do this?
It was the only thing relative to what we were supposed to be looking for to help your mission.
Yes, it's really would be helpful to know what we are and are not supposed to do if you say tell us.
He says that book was locked away to prevent certain ponies of darkness from entering the realm of infinite knowledge.
Oh, then I might want to go collect those 5 silver I left on the key to open the door. You also might want to remove all the paper and the magic pen. That's probably not a smart idea to keep there.
Also, they've invented something the last few years recently to keep people from going and getting to things they're not supposed to. It's called a lock.
Cybersecurity.
Arcana...
A literal firewall.
And like putting it behind a locked door and not letting anyone else have the key would actually be a little more secure.
Arcana looks at you and says,
But I'm just a stupid monk. What do I know?
Arcana looks at you all as like, "There was a magic pen in that room?"
Keyword is was.
Yes, we weren't able to remove the book from the room, so we transcribed it onto these papers. And the magic pen did it all for us, because we cannot read the language.
Until he broke it.
Someone broke it. I don't know who it was. It just stopped working. It was really odd.
It broke in half and the green smoke came out of it.
Arcana looks at you and says, "Let me see the papers."
Hands papers. Or hooves papers.
Arcana says, "I detect magical properties in these papers, but they were not originated in that room. Someone placed them there."
Correct. The pen, I would guess.
He says, "Tell me more about this pen. Exactly how did it work?"
It just
You
kind
run
of
it
did.
across a paper and it leaves a mark, like most pens do.
He looks at you and says, "I mean, did it write on its own?"
It did, in fact, do the things you're saying.
That is not good. Not good at all. They know.
They who? This is once again one of those things where if you actually tell us the stuff beforehand, we might actually be able to do something about it.
He
I know
says,
you love being mysterious and stuff, but it's like keeping us in the dark isn't getting you anywhere.
he says, "I'm not keeping you in the dark because I want to. I'm keeping you in the dark to protect the world. There are just things that maybe you should not know beforehand. Either way, it was Teldrius who left the pen in that room. I can sense it in these papers. They've been touched by dark. Remember that note that told you to go to the Forest of Dreams by Teldrius? The end is nigh, we have the stone from last session?
Sure.
Obviously, Teldrius was unable to decipher this language. So he needed someone to find the pony to translate it. But he couldn't bring the book out of the room.
Neither could we.
Well, because I cast a protection spell in that room some 50 years ago.
You know, it might even have been better to actually put a protection spell preventing people from going into the room if you didn't want the knowledge in that room to get out. Just an idea. Or you could have used a door with a lock.
Well, that's why the book was a mechanism. No one would have thought that it'd be a book. Well, at least that is what Loostalk told me to hide the book in some 10, 15 years ago. After we put the book there, we decided that we wanted to move it, but we decided a book contraption would be better.
If you insist.
Granted, that hallway had always been there and was once home to the last alicorn. She used that room for vile magics. We were fortunate enough to clean it out.
It's kind of a tiny room to live in.
Well, it was once an alchemy station, full of potions and dark magics. Either way, this will take some time to decipher. It's been a while since I've read this language. I should have it fully deciphered within 2.5 days when we meet back at the front of the city to depart. I should have this deciphered, and then we will be able to locate the keys that supposedly are hidden within these pages.
So who wrote the book?
Yeah, aren't the keys for finding the library he's already been to? Can't he just know where it is?
No, because in order to enter the library, every time the keys are shattered and destroyed.
Well, that's inconvenient.
Just like the Infinity Stones.
But a pretty good racket for the key makers.
All I know is that the keys, when I went there, were already crafted.
And I have a suspicion that's not all you know.
Well, as far as I remember traveling to several locations throughout the land to locate the keys themselves. Some were hidden in caves. others in mysterious ruins. But in order to craft them, I know not, for I have never heard of how to craft them, only that they existed, and of course, once I used them, they shattered. Granted, the land of infinite knowledge, you might as well know, is a giant library. Has every book from every age, but it is connected also to the fate of the land. So the books are written by fate itself.
If you say so.
I agree with that statement.
My third.
He basically says, he tells you then, all you need to know is that if you are able to enter that library, we will be able to find information on the other stones. Maybe not their future, but definitely their past. Granted, the library is rather large. It can take a long time to search for that information.
I should kind of expect that a library of infinite knowledge would be a bit sizable.
If I
Is he
remember,
not able to search with it with like a spell?
well, if we can get in there, I can at least consult the archive book with magic. But the books are unaffected by magic themselves.
I do suppose that if it's a library that has infinite knowledge, it would have a book about what knowledge is in the library of infinite knowledge.
Correct.
All the archive is a table of contents of every possible path. It's only about 3 pages long.
Okay, I kind of expected that there would have been more paths in the
At least like
infinite
4
library.
pages.
I was thinking at least 7.
Each,
Oh, wow, 7 pages?
many paths are at least 3 stories high.
Ew.
You know,
Some are hundreds.
I would have expected the library would have had more stories.
He says, just like my home, where there's 15 levels, in the basement, the Library of Infinite Knowledge is at least 10 to 15 times that size.
That's almost 20.
It's around 200 floors.
Okay, so there are a lot of stories in the Library of Infinite Knowledge.
It's quite a large knowledge base.
I at least know where we have to take the keys. But first, I have to figure out how to craft them.
All right.
Oh, so we've actually got to make these keys.
Yes, you actually have to make the keys to get to the Library of Infinite Knowledge in order to get the information to get the stones. That's exactly where the story is heading.
Alrighty then.
I suppose we
Time for
better
another
hurry up
pet.
if the other person's also making them.
So, do you happen to know where this library is?
Yes, I know where the door is located. It's been many, many years since I was last there. But it should be located well to the east.
Well to the east. Wow. That's quite east.
If you look at this map on my table, as
Hey,
I,
look, there's a map here.
Oh, hello,
I'm-
map.
Okay. Well to the east of Villagetown. The pathway is near. I gotta actually decide where it is now. It should be in a ruin just east in the plains between Blelvik and Silver Dream. As I understand it, fruit punch that is near your hometown.
Correct.
I need this.
I am actually from Blevik.
Go like this, but I need it to go this way.
Okay.
Well, then we might as well stop at your home before we head to the Library of Infinite Knowledge. If we can make the keys.
Can we take it off the pocket?
I guess. I think we're more in a hurry, but there's no reason not to stop there.
Mostly, I would like to speak with your elder. It's been a while since I was last there.
All right.
And from what I remember, I'm gonna roll. There is a part. There was one key I did have to craft, but it wasn't like the others. If I remember correctly, you need a special ore that can only be found below the Mountain of Heavens.
I guess we have to go to the Mountain of Heavens.
Which is entirely the other direction.
Correct.
That's So which way are we going to be going? Like, are we going to go to the west, or are we going to go to the east?
That I will leave up to you, he says. And then he says, unfortunately, we must depart. I must transcribe this and take care of some final things before we leave. Feel free to use my mansion as a place to stay. The rooms have been made available to each of you.
I thought we were supposed to go away and not meet you again until 3 days from now.
Well, I did not want you staying at the inn. Least of all, you are my guests. Feel free to enjoy the 2 days. There is a map in each room of the city that will tell you where various locations are, including some nice places that you should check out if this is your first time in Villagetown. A few taverns are around, and some very good cider, and a very good apple stand. I highly recommend it. They have great apple pie.
Well, I suppose that the merchants who are going to be sadly disappointed that all the people who had come for the tournament are going to be leaving and not spending their bits here. And we'll have a whole bunch of stock that they aren't able to sell. Would appreciate having someone buy their stuff.
Yep.
He then says, Arcanus then says, oh, and I received word. Instead of them hosting the combat part of the tournament, if you so choose, you may, of your choice, watch some Knights of Villagetown joust. It's a fun spectacle.
I would be interested in doing so, but it seems we're quite busy.
I don't know. We're kind of busy, but kind of not.
Well, we have things we need to be doing, but there's not really a set. I mean, we have 2 days.
We've got 2 days to wait while he translates the thingy.
Oh, we can't get started before then?
No, you can't get started before then.
I somehow missed that. I apologize.
So I'm kind of curious. Did you when you put the book in that room? Had you not read it?
No, I couldn't read it.
No, not you.
He's asking Arcana. Arcana says, I chose to put that book in that room. But it takes time to analyze. I found the book inside the Library of Infinite Knowledge. I decided that it would be good if I ever had to get back there for a reason to have that book outside of the Library of Knowledge.
And wouldn't it have been easier to actually have transcribed it then and have the instructions and?
No, because too many copies of such a book would be disastrous.
So instead, you're just going to make a copy of our copy?
No, I will take your copy I will transcribe. I will decipher it and figure out what we need, and then I will destroy this copy.
Well, that's kind of rude.
Whatever works.
So, do you guys have any final questions for Arcana?
Probably, but he's not going to answer them.
Not likely. He does say he does say one final thing. I also have arranged a meeting with a couple lords for each of you.
Uh-oh.
It'd be good
Why?
for you to finally meet the king of Viljatown, but that will
There's
take
no-
some time.
I thought nobody ever saw the king.
I was able to pull some strings with Loose Talk.
I mean, like, nobody ever sees the king.
That is not entirely 100% true. You just
Apparently not.
need very, very special conditions to meet the king. We will go together to talk to him before we depart.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I won't be able to join you, but Loose Talk has agreed that if you meet him in front of the castle gates just before sunset, on the day before we depart, you have been given an audience at that time.
So, tomorrow.
No, 2 days. You have 2 days till then.
Oh, 2.5 days till we depart, so...
Yep, it would be the evening before you depart, the morning, because you're leaving in the morning. It's like getting to dinner time right now.
Okay. Can I make a suggestion in that you actually tell the guards at the castle that we're coming this time?
Oh,
They did. Yeah, they didn't know we're coming, and they were very, very inhospitable.
oh, please forgive them. They're just following their orders. Most of the time, a lot of the guards are still new to Viljatown, and they've been doing some training. Granted, the head guard is a very, very polite pony and very, very nice.
I'll take
But-
your word for it.
But
In fact,
he is very duty-bound, very strict about laws. But either way, they should know that I sent you. Loose Talk will be sure to meet you at the gate of the palace, so you shouldn't have any problems.
All right. As long as we don't need to get any letters again. Unless we didn't really need to last time.
Well, last time we just dropped a name.
Well, no. He actually just walked up with us and showed us a different way in.
Once we dropped the name.
Oh, true.
Now,
But just giving the guards knowledge ahead of time that we're coming and we actually are important, then we'll have us treated less like prisoners.
yeah, the
because-
guard at the gate wouldn't have known Arcana. That's what.
Because
Go ahead.
just telling you this, that like if they weren't going to let us out of the library, there's a chair going through that very expensive window.
Remember, Loose Talk is the person that is the pony that goes between the king and the people. So if Loose Talk led you to the library, the guards are going to obey him, regardless.
Makes sense to me.
If you say so, but I don't know him from anyone.
I don't know
So
how you can skin it on there.
So, anyways, do you guys, any more questions for Arcana before you guys leave this room?
not really.
Not for me, no.
Arcana
No.
tells you... Okay, so no one has any more questions. So Arcana says, by the way, it's kind of a lengthy elevator ride. Here, let me open a portal to the first floor. He casts a spell to open up a portal that you look through the portal, and it looks like it lands you right at the entranceway of of his mansion.
All right.
And then the butler walks through and says, "Follow me, sirs and madams. I will show you to your rooms. Oh, and we've prepared a very, very good meal for you as well, consisting of various lettuces and carrots and fruits from all over."
Fine with me.
Very-
Alrighty.
So he leads you through the portal, shows you guys to each of your rooms. The rooms are big. They're massive. And you've never seen anything quite like it. The beds are very high royalty. It's a very royal mansion.
Interesting.
The
We should have
but-
asked him how he got this mansion.
I mean, do you want to ask the butler?
Sure.
Okay. Roll persuasion.
Eh.
The butler looks at you and says, "Arcana doesn't own the mansion."
Then I am just confused.
It just
How
happens.
does he have the ability to give us rooms to a place he doesn't own?
Arcana's name is not on the deed of the building, but
So whose is?
it is part of his family's heritage.
I suppose that makes sense.
When Arcana decided to study to become the wise one, supposedly, he gave up his name and titles. Granted, he's the only living member of the family alive. He's been through a lot, and he's done so much for the kingdom and the land. He never did like coming back to the mansion, but I fear that his travels had to be put on hold. And we, as servants of his proud name, are glad to assist him. But overall, currently no one really owns the mansion.
I suppose that's fine.
Someone's got to own it. You said there's a deed. Whose name is on it?
The
I'd assume
deed,
someone who's not alive, but I'll let him answer.
the butler says, that is a very touchy subject. The deed is in Arcana's father's name. Unfortunately, Arcana's father has long since passed. At least, we don't know what happened to him. One night, we were serving him, and the next, he was gone.
Right.
Along...
So
Go ahead.
so for all the wealth you have here, you might have actually like paid for a guard or four.
Oh, no one would ever invade this mansion.
Why not? It's obviously very wealthy. And if there's no guards, you just come in and take all the stuff.
That's because the mansion is protected by magic.
Of course it is.
Everything is.
Though, supposedly, when Arcana's father disappeared, and then he starts whispering, his brother also disappeared. We don't know where they went, where they are. But we worry for them.
So how long ago did they supposedly disappear?
It must have been a year or two ago.
Oh, that recently.
Hmm.
I don't know much about it myself. And Arcana, unfortunately, was not here at the time of their disappearance.
Fishy.
Well, Arcana was abroad, studying the ways of the ancient druids, trying to learn how to create life from a seedling. He was always fascinated in magic and life itself.
I guess that makes sense.
Life from a seedling is hardly magic. That's agriculture.
Well, he was studying how to accelerate the growth of a seedling. I don't know much about magic myself. I am only an earth pony. But
Yeah, and by that you should actually know about how the seeds work.
oh,
Earth ponies
I know.
are good at that kind of thing.
I know how to grow seeds because we tend to the gardens here. But Arcana was talking about making seeds out of just dirt and then growing it into a tree using unicorn magic or some such. I don't know
Right.
much about it.
Seems like a lot of effort to do something that would actually happen naturally.
So, anyways, it's about. Do you guys have any other questions for the butler?
I feel like asking questions just raises more, so we may as well just move on.
You gotta understand, not everyone that you're gonna talk to is gonna have every single answer and is going to be leaving you guys with more questions because when you're talking to someone that doesn't actually have all the knowledge, you can't get all the information.
But what if I want them to have all the knowledge?
Well, that's not how life works.
Why can't we just bring them with us to the place of infinite knowledge?
I mean, you can't
That's a
because
secret.
it's a secret. A.
But then I can ask
B-
them all the questions. Okay, here's a serious question. Does the Library of Infinite Knowledge know what my favorite color is?
How would you know that? I'm not going to tell you the
Then I
answer
suppose
because
it's not infinite knowledge.
I'm calling it infinite knowledge because that's what it's been called by every pony. That's what Arcana has called it. That's all you
Fair
know.
enough.
I'm not going to go into revealing like all the secrets. Come on. I'm not that gullible.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so you guys have a great dinner. It's filled, it also has a bunch of apple pie and different cakes and every food from all over. Even from your homelands, there's food there.
Oh,
There's a lot of emphasis on dessert.
I mean, for you guys have never experienced this. Because fruit punch is from a barbarian town. Cobalt is from the ever-freeze forest. Nimbus, you were trained on a mountain with monks, so you grew up not on all this royalty food. You guys didn't grow up around all this royal food.
No, I tend to have very simple meals.
So you guys get to eat kingly food for once.
let's go
Well,
king food.
I may be served kingly food. I actually only serve myself simple stuff anyway.
Either way, there was a lot of energy put into this meal. So, and do you guys choose to retire for the night, or do you want to do anything before you guys retire?
I don't have anything I need to do.
We were traveling for much of the night and doing all sorts of research and being harassed by guards and all that. I'm ready to turn in.
All right, so you guys turn in. All right. Well, congrats! Day 1 of your mission is complete. Now comes actually a question for you. Do you guys want to continue, or do you want to call it there for tonight?
I mean, it has been about almost 2 hours already.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to bed. That was a little longer than I was initially trying to go for, so. Again. So we're going to call it there.
All right.
So, congrats! You guys got a map, or a means to find this place. So, you're moving along in the story a little faster, but...
We don't so much have a map as we have instructions on how to get to the place where
Yeah,
we can find a map.
Yes, you have the instructions, yes.
And the map will lead us to where we can make the keys, which will get us to the place that we need to get the infinite knowledge, which we can then use to find the other remaining stones.
That is correct.
We're not even at the beginning of the quest. We're at the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of the quest.
Yes, and if...
So we kind of need to move fast to actually get anywhere.
I did say it was a long campaign, guys. We're actually moving at a really swift pace for this campaign.
Cool.
Of what I have planned. So, alright, well, that's going to about do it for the recording.